Hi, everybody. This is Tom with Culture Chat. How are you? It's summer, or it's almost summer where you are. It's good. So, I want to talk to you today about something you may be tired of, but I hope you're not, which is doing a Midsummer Night's Dream. Now, I know a lot of you will immediately turn off this video and say, I've seen enough of those. But what I'm proposing is that you break it up a little bit. I'm not talking about massive changes. I'm talking about changes that really improve it, and that your patrons, the people that come to your theater, walk away saying, that is the best Midsummer I've ever seen. Now, Midsummer, if you think about it, is kind of the cornerstone of summertime outdoor Shakespeare theater. Globally, every country does it. It is the most popular, arguably, the most popular Shakespeare play, and there's a reason. People just love it. They love the comedy, they love the fairies, they love the magic, they love love conquers all. In the end, they love all of that. Now, what I am proposing, and it's a little bit like the Nutcracker, they take their children. The whole family goes to A Midsummer Night's Dream. Everybody who likes theater has seen it, and it usually, in a lot of English speaking countries, as I understand it, is the first play that people can remember seeing with their family, usually in the Americas, in the outdoors. So, what can you do? Now, I'm not saying you have to do it outdoors. I'm saying that it might be cheaper for you to do it in a park, in a public park, which comes with a myriad of its own problems with the public just milling around. But there's a lot of possibilities. So I don't want to bore you with that. I want you to be creative on your own terms and think of where you can do it that may be better financially for you than you've thought about before. Or if you're in a theater that is sadly closed, or you're in a community theater or not such a close to equity level of theater, you can do it anywhere. People will come. It'll always sell tickets. Now, I'm not going to blather on about it because there's tons of Midsummer videos out there, and you don't need to watch me talk about it for 20 minutes. Okay? I know some of my other videos are long. I'm determined this one is going to be shorter for you. So, what I'm saying is make it the funniest, make it the best designed that you've ever seen. What does best designed mean? It means bringing out all your creativity. It means maybe taking the money that you would have put into set design and thought, how best can we do this and spend more money on costumes and maybe makeup? Because that's what they're coming to see. It's a lot of people on the stage. They really want to see pretty costumes, okay? And whatever era you set it in, it should be an attractive show. There's no reason for this one to be a political show in army uniforms or anything like that. None of that. Make it attractive. Now, to keep costs down, or to just keep the members of your cast, the number of your cast down, I would recommend, number one, making Aegeus and Hippolyta, turn them into Oberon and Titania. Okay? Aegeus and Hippolyta don't have that much to do in the play, and you can double up. Now, I also think that you should cut lines that you think are extra. There's a lot of talking in a lot of Shakespeare plays, and in this one, the plot is reiterated so many times, and you won't really ruin any plot points by giving it a good cut. Do this with a dramaturg, do it with someone skilled who's going to track those lines that you cut and make sure they don't further the plot in later parts of the play. Okay? Now, also, funny as possible. Here's one of my ideas. So, I think in this play, because it is the whole family, often little children as well, that people fade out when it's long, extraneous monologues. So let's look at Titania. The king and the queen, Oberon and Titania, are fighting. You do this. I dominate you. No, I dominate you. It's a whole yuck situations. But what they're trying to tell the audience, especially in Titania's long speech when they first meet, ill met by moonlight, proud Titania, Oberon, rah, rah. But they go into this speech where they start fighting, and she starts to explain our fighting has prompted the earth, nature, to not go the way it's supposed to. And she has this long monologue of saying the crops are rotting, the this and that. Lines like the rivers, being so proud, have overborne their continents, so there are floods. The speech is long, and if you want to make it funnier and more interesting, I say you start there. You have these fairies that are attending her, that are attending them. They're not used to being on opposite sides of each other. So she has her sort of four henchmen, which should be henchwomen, henchmen, perhaps a combo. Peas blossom, moth, mustard seed, and cobweb. They're right there, and they have stuff to do in other parts of the play. Give them some of those lines. Give Peas blossom that line. The rivers are so proud, they've overborne. And Titania's like, yes, and that, and that. And it's a lot of like, here's the list, and here's the list. Funny, action, movement, other characters speaking. It's not a dialogue, it's still a list. So if you make each fairy, don't give up the whole speech, but give Titania like the first three lines maybe, and then be like, I'm thinking of other stuff, and then she looks at her people, Peas blossom, moth. Don't have her say that, be like, and they start rattling off the speech. Very funny. It could be very funny and could bring your attention back to that speech, which is terribly important. Okay? I'm not sure what lines to cut. I'm not going to advise you. I'm just going to say that chopping it up with those other characters will make it interesting. Having physical movement during these things, maybe the fairies are pointing at each other. They're not used to fighting. They're not very good at it. Make it comedic. I'm on this side. Well, I'm on this side, but we're not used to it. Make it funny. You might think it's distracting or stealing focus. They're fairies. Have them steal focus. It's funny. Balance out your humor where it's not too distracting and make them look attractive. Also, I would recommend a radical change in costume and wig from the original Aegeus and Hippolyta to your same actors playing Oberon and Titania. Pull on some different wigs. I really like Thistlewit, which is the great Juno Temple from Ted Lasso. She played Thistlewit in Maleficent. Now, she had a wig with some sort of a crown on, sort of a nature crown. There was like thistles or edges of leaves coming out. It was very interesting. And that can be pulled on between the scenes very easily on Hippolyta or on Oberon or both. Something like that, where there's a nature style fairy crown pulled on, maybe a different hair color than the one they wore as the other characters. Maybe the other characters have a slightly different accent, and Oberon and Titania have sort of the base accent. Anything to make them different. We don't really want your audience to go, oh, those are the same actors. You don't disguise them too much. It's still the same face. There's not enough time to put on a whole different makeup. Just different wigs, very different costumes. Something you can do in a 5-minute quick change. I think that maybe as long as they have. Okay? And they'll have to get out of those costumes, easy on, easy off with your quick changes, to go back to being Aegeus and Hippolyta to watch the mechanicals do their play within the play. Okay, so that's a good idea. We want to establish the fairies as the comic relief right away. They're going to mess with the mortals. The mortals should be really funny, almost funnier than the fairies, or a different style of funny. So the whole middle section of fairies and mortals running around chasing each other is hilarious. Really hilarious. Because you're trying to make the very best Midsummer they've ever seen. And I'm telling you, if you spend your money on costumes and your actors, that will be your key. Really delve into these scenes. To delve into these scenes correctly, to get the humor really, really crisp and fun, these actors need to come into your rehearsal, which most rehearsals are 4 weeks. Some are longer, a lot are shorter because of lack of money these days. They need to come into the first rehearsal off book. It's Shakespeare. They need to know their lines. They need to know what they're saying in case some of the Shakespearean lines are confusing to them. And you need to have cut the play, whatever cuts you're making. You need to cut it way in advance, okay? Way in advance so they can study this. This is very important. You won't really get the comedy going until they know their lines. And if you're making it funnier, it's more physical. This is a physical, especially the lovers running around the forest. This is a very physical thing. You can't run around and seduce each other and be kooky when you're holding a script in your hand, all right? You're holding a script in your hand to write blocking down, all right? That's it. Really, you shouldn't have it in your hand. You should have it off in the seats in your rehearsal room and stop every few pages. The more active the blocking for them to write it down, okay? They need to get all of this into their bodies, and that's the way you make the best comedy. So the middle section, we're in the forest, is the largest section of the play. Should be hilarious and full of surprises, okay? The mechanicals are very funny, but in reality, it's a short bit. And they are funny in a different manner, okay? They're the workmen, the groundspeople, the silly people, the troupe of actors that are kind of befuddling. It's a different kind of comedy than the run around chase them, we're dousing mortals with, I love you juice. And speaking of that, about the middle, there is the problem of when the mortals get drugged, it's the men, okay? And the one man that ends up with Helena, which is escaping me right now. I don't have time to look it up. You know who it is, Theseus? I think that when both men have chosen their girl, and the girls have chosen them. This is equal. And we have heard beforehand that the one guy's a bit of a cad. Is this gossip or is this real? I like it when it's gossip and probably not true. I like it when he is after his girl, Helena, or Hermia. I'm so sorry. And the one we think is a cad is, I'm drugged, but I don't really want to go after the other girl. I want to go after my girl. So that's funny. The push me, pull you of like, her. Ugh, I'm drugged. That's interesting and funny. Do you see where I'm going? Mine every bit of humor out of this play. That's what they want you to do. It's very old. It puts people in seats. It'll sell every time. And advertise it. Please advertise it with short videos on Instagram or wherever you want to tell people this is the funniest one you've ever seen. You can't say that, and invite your reviewers and show them that you are a skilled director, a skilled troupe, a skilled artistic director, and you are skilled in your design, however you want to design this. Make it funny, make it practical. There's a lot of action in the one I'm telling you to do. And really just go for it. Don't just think, it's a clunker, it's old, everybody comes. I don't have to work very hard on this. That will not sell. You really won't. Make it the best you can. Make it the most creative you can. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Other than what I'm suggesting with Oberon and Titania, and maybe Titania's outfits when she's drugged should change, it's not a lot of costumes per show. It's not a lot of costumes, per actor. Okay? It really isn't. The lovers, please refrain from this. The lovers go into the forest in costumes and they sort of get into their underwear or their night things. They didn't bring a change of clothes with them, they escaped. So it's usually taking off some of what they have. Don't put them in their underwear. Just don't. I prefer just leaving them in their outfits and letting what happens, happens. Okay? But especially if you're doing it, period, there are layers that can come off. A vest can come off, a jacket can come off, shirts can be untucked. Part of the woman's dress, if you choose to do that, can come out. Maybe she has layers. Don't leave them in their underwear. This is not a sexual running around the forest. I know some people do it that way. It's just a mistake. And it's distracting. It's really distracting. And that's not what the play is. It doesn't need that. Your fairy outfits, they should be action-oriented too. Just because they're beautiful, they're wearing wigs and so forth, doesn't mean they can't run around and look cuckoo and be crazy. A lot of this is very action-oriented. That's part of the humor that we're beefing up from the past versions you've seen where you're like, yawn, this Midsummer is boring. We don't want that for you. Make it the best ever. And shorten it. Take out the spots you can take out. There won't be a lot of spots you can take out. You still have to get the message across. It's tightly written, but there may be areas where you can speed it up or slow it down. There may be whole areas, whole chunks you can take out because you've gotten the point across. I don't know where they are. That's why you need the help of a dramaturg. You could shave off quite a bit of time. An hour? No. But 30 minutes? Maybe. Because you're beefing it up with action and humor. And that's the more important thing. There's a lot in this play that is just reiterating what's already been said. Look for it, examine it, see if you need it, see if you can have another character do their thing over at the same time. I'm in favor of the fairies talking over to Tanya while she's doing some of her speeches. Some of her speeches are terribly important. And we want the back and forth of comedic characters, angry king and queen fairy talking to each other. Because then you hear Titania's the most beautiful speech that almost any woman says in Shakespeare, which is the reason that she's raising the Indian boy. His mother was a votress of my order, and in the spiced Indian air, full often by night have we gossiped. And then she goes into this beautiful thing where she compares the beauty of pregnancy of her friend, you know, the billowing of her dress to the billowing of the ships on the sea sailing back and forth. I forget what it is. She says, the wanton wind. Her womb then rich with my young squire. It is such a beautiful speech. And we need to hear this, I am raising this child because of the friendship I have with his mother who has passed. Okay? It's a very important speech. 30 seconds, 50 seconds, that's all you need. But we've seen her silly side, we've seen her angry side, and now we see the very important information with this beautiful, rich language that is very important. We want to show the depth of all these characters, okay? And what they're about to go to. Each character has moments of silliness and moments of pathos and moments of seriousness, and you need to show that balance, and that'll make your play far more interesting. It's Shakespeare. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of information you can mine. Did I say I was making a short video? I tried. I really tried. Please try Midsummer. Don't just cast it aside because you don't think it'll sell. Direct it. Advertise it. Please advertise it. Short videos make all the difference. Little 20-second videos that you can send out by email blasts or on Instagram. It really works. It really works. They'll see the care and the time you put into it. You don't have to make it expensive. There's lots of costumes in stock. When it's a fantasy piece, you don't have to have matchy-matchy everything. That's part of the fun. The mechanicals don't have to match their outfits. They can even wear different color shoes or whatever you want. They can be in rags. Interesting. The fairies, they can wear whatever you want. Anything you want. And what does that do? That opens up your creativity of your designers. Okay. Should have been a shorter video. I'm sorry. It's an exciting piece. It really is. Even though it's old and everyone's done it. It sells. And if you do it carefully, it'll sell like crazy. Make it the best, make it the funniest, make it the prettiest, make it the best they've ever seen. You can do that. All right. And this is something that sells globally. Everyone likes Midsummer. They really do. Okay, that's enough for today. I've added a buy me a coffee if you like. That's a very nice thing to do. I don't have Patreon. I'm not so fond of Patreon. Plus, they're taking a lot of money out of people's pockets. And buy me a coffee is pretty simple, and most of the money stays with the artists. There's a link above, and I'm going to start a series. We're still continuing this series of comedies that you should do that I think will sell. We need that right now. I'm also going to do a short series of new plays because people are asking for that, which is a nice surprise. And people should explore new plays and see what they can do. Maybe you can produce new plays that don't cost you a lot. You never know. All right, we'll talk again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Bye.